Going. You're live. All right, there we go.
Right. So I'm Mike Armstrong.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Armstrong.
And we are united through vision. And today we have the amazing opportunity to talk to a friend of ours, Callagy, who is just a truly impressive person with what he's doing in the world through his Unblinded movement and just the integrous man that he is. You know, over the last couple of years, we've gotten to know him and just never stopped to be impressed by you, Sean. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a little time with us.
Well, thank you guys. And just out of curiosity, Mike and Tiffany, you have the same last name. Do you know each other?
Yeah, we know each other a little bit. We're married, happily married. And
yeah, I'm kidding. I'm so happy to be here.
I know.
You guys are amazing.
So I guess I really want to kind of go back to the start. What really got you into personal development growth to achieve the things you have in life? I mean, I know your repertoire of life experiences, and it's incredible. But what was that first point where you're like, wow, the light bulb went off? And
yes, probably three different moments. I would say first, Batman, like Batman, James Bond, and Star Wars. As silly as that might sound to some, they represented common people unlocking. And one could say, well, Luke Skywalker had Jedi powers, so therefore he was not common. But he still seemed common, right? Like we all do. And Batman, James Bond, Luke were otherwise leading ordinary lives at one point and decided they were going to have extraordinary impacts on people. And they developed themselves in massive ways to unlock ways to have small input of a person creating extraordinary outputs, saving the world, rescuing people, making incredible things happen for good. So that was my first source. And then when I was 16, a sports psychologist came to my high school and I did his program, and other people joking around, not paying attention. And I just like, hey, I'm going to go do this and take it seriously. And so those two elements were foundational for me. So my whole childhood, I was always trying to make great things happen, wanted to be a hero and be in situations where I could score the winning touchdown or, get the game winning hit. And I was willing to step into those stages knowing that sometimes it didn't work because sometimes Batman got tied up by the bad guys, right? Like it happened. Yeah, please.
Well, and with that being said, you've definitely had some serious success in those areas for sure. Hearing your story with all your athletic prowess and the things you did for that, it's impressive.
Yeah, and I have also corollaries to all those times in a big moment where it didn't work out, so there were a lot of incredible moments that did. And, and this would be one of my probably the most defining parts of maybe my personality, my heart, and a lesson for life. We're playing the biggest football game of our careers, the game we had waited for our entire lives against Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey, senior year, and we're on their field and we have to win this game for our friends that were injured, and my best friend Roy, quarterback, had his spleen taken out and have any chance to come back. We had to win this game. We came out of the locker room crying, like thousands of people at the game. It's just absolutely like everything, like emotionally overwhelmed coming out of the locker room. And the first play, we're going to run a post pattern down the middle of the field for me. And we start in the 20-yard line. They kick the ball for a touchback. And I beat my guy. I do my thing. I'm so revved up in my heart, fired up, ready. And this ball is thrown, and it's perfectly thrown. And I'm flying. And I'm like, literally, as this ball is coming down, I'm already across midfield, maybe around their 40. And I'm literally thinking, like, I'm going to catch this ball and score an 80-yard touchdown on the first play of the game against Hasbrook Heights senior year. It was like storybook, legendary, totally incredible. And the ball hits me in the hands and I drop it.
Oh.
And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like laying there. I went just lay down the field for a second. I was like in a shock wave through my body. And within 1, 2, 3 seconds, there was like 4 teammates, like picking me up, slapping me on the butt, slapping me in the head, being like, let's go, all good. And that's what life is about. We won that game. It was the only game my senior year I didn't catch a pass. I didn't score a touchdown. And I played an incredible game on defense. So my name wasn't in the box score. I didn't have a superstar moment, but I played the best game I played all year defensively, and I did my job, and we won, and we wept and cried on the field. So sometimes I think in life, I think there's a couple of challenges. One is we don't want to be in that moment because we're afraid, what if it doesn't work out? I had many work out. That moment, in the moment, didn't feel like it worked out, but it really did. Because I also learned that the greatest joy, passion we can have is by having incredible, magical, unbelievable things happen with people you love and care about, even if you're not the person that did it as the star. You're just a part of it. So yeah, I've had a lot of beautiful moments and a lot of challenging moments, but all of them were unbelievable in the lessons they taught.
That's absolutely outstanding. Like, and just listening to hear you tell that story, I'm so invested, and I've heard it probably 4 times, and it still gets me like, oh man, you dropped the pass. But that story right there really, Sean, highlights like your character and who you are and how you show up not only on the football field but in life. And one of the things, you know, I've noticed is by watching the first video, which was November of 2018 up to present, and walking on this journey with you, has been, that's how you show up in friendship and relationship and business. And you're always right there, not always dropping passes, but you're there either. Huh?
I said, but sometimes I do.
Yeah, sometimes you do. But you asked me a very powerful question on one of our calls, and it was like, you know, how have you pivoted so quickly? And it's like, I've got you as a quarterback, and you know, a beautiful structure that you have helped us build, and like learning and instilling that, and bringing, you know, us back to our sports days of, you know, being an Olympic swimmer, being, you know, whatever on whatever high school team or debate team or whatever you were involved in high school or as a kid, taking back to those moments, those glory moments or those hard moments, and like tying your current present time into your history is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because those lessons just come through and ring through so strong today. And I don't hear a lot of people doing that out in the professional field like you do. So it's absolutely outstanding how you're taking all of your experience and just looping it into, these are life lessons, guys. Like, this is outstanding. And I mean, please continue on your beautiful story, because there are so many things about you that are just absolutely outstanding that you're just sharing with the world.
Well, Tiffany, thank you. And Mike, and I remember the first day that we were in the same room. And I remember how beautiful hearts and souls you both had and how you were showing up. But I also remember a lot of uncertainty. And the level of uncertainty that you're showing up in the world with now is because you did it. And you just remembered who and what you are and who and what everybody is. You know, and everybody is a hero in their heart and soul. Everybody's a guide in their heart and soul. And everybody is less than those things at times. But it's how much we can connect and be that best part of ourselves and never let any conditioning, circumstances, people, judgment, blame, distortion, all those things change that amazing beauty, power, strength, love, connection, growth, all those things inside of us. And you, Tiffany, you, Mike, represent that so beautifully. And I'm so grateful to call you friends. I'm so grateful and proud of both of you and all that you're doing. And I mean this with my heart. Like, you both inspire me. You inspire me in your relationship. You inspire me on your growth and your sharing things with the world. And I mean that with every fiber in my being. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And with that being, I want to kind of talk a little bit about Unblinded and what's going on with that today. Because every time I hear you speak on this, you are coming from your heart place, your heart centered with what you do. And I've felt the tears running down my face, and I hear people getting them all the time. And it's because you're so coherent with your energy and your connection to people. Where's Unblinded at right now, and kind of where do you see it growing?
Yeah. So since you're stepping in, I'm going to step in.
Okay.
And stepping in, I'm going to say this. I think that we're on our way to being the next evolution of personal development in the world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. And I think that what we're doing is we are building not this around me, but we're building this around everybody. And that has like a weird, scary ring for people at times. So like, because the C word, right? Cult word could become like, well, it's kind of weird. So let me like help people with that. Like the NFL changed a cultural dynamic, like professional sports, the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, especially the NFL, just rooted itself so deeply in our being and culture. There's nothing wrong with that. But what if we could feel that way about our own lives and the lives of the people around us? So like, and it's funny, right? Because we don't use weird words to talk about the NFL, but if you think about it, and listen, I've been a big NFL fan for a long time. Is it a little bit weird that like it controls our mood on a Monday morning, like how our sports team does for some people? For me,
Yes.
like I'd be so pissed if the Jets lost. My 40th birthday, the Jets won at halftime against the Colts and Peyton Manning. We were in Deer Valley, Utah, and they lost. And it broke my heart. They lost going to the Super Bowl. That was the AFC Championship game. And then next year, my birthday was ruined again. The Steelers. It wasn't my exact birthday. It was like my birthday weekend and my party, and they lost the Steelers in 2011. So I share that because what if we felt that way about our own lives and the teammates that we merge ecosystems with, we partner up with to do things? Like, what if we carried that fire, passion, like, yes, woo, like the world? And why is that weird? Like, how did professional sports, which I love sports, but how did it corner the market on enthusiasm and passion? And I honor Tony Robbins at such a high level because Tony brought that forward, that issue. I thought of that dynamic because of his work, right? He said one day, he's like, yeah, man, it's like, you're watching a game, your team scored. It's like, we did it. He's like, you didn't do S. Right? You're sitting there watching, man. Like, and I remember when I first heard that from him, it's like 20 years ago, 22 years ago. I was like, yeah. And so, and he has sailed alone as a pioneer in the space of bringing that same sport, concert, music, fire, love, energy into our own lives and our business world. And I think for a long time, and this is like bombshell stuff coming out on your podcast right here, because I've hidden from these words for a long time. Like, I love him, but he doesn't own that market either. You know what I mean? Like I was coming out of a lot, and I love him. I'm part of a line in his organization, but like, he doesn't own the market of loving yourself and fire, energy, and passion, like sports, entertainment. That's where that was. And I was doing that stuff before I met his work. He just gave me the language around it and the reality and the permission for it. And like, yeah, like I do that too. Like I brought that stuff to my life and my fire. It's not all that I do. It's not all that he does, but we share that in common. And when I was a high school athlete coming out of the locker room, born to be wild, Coach Stan Woods, winningest wrestling coach in history of the state of New Jersey, that's what we were doing. And we come out of the locker room, I was the guy in the huddle, getting everybody fired up, like, let's go. Like, I was the person bringing tears and fire and emotion and passion. And we had other leaders in our team doing it a different way. But that's always been me. And I'm not pretending anymore it's not. And I thank Tony Robbins for bridging that gap for the world of personal development. And I'm also owning my own space in being me and freeing that and leading that forward. And it was a weird moment for me because after we did the immersion, right? And I intentionally said that None of the music we're going to have, like, I don't want any music you'd hear in a Tony Robbins thing. I want my music. And I had a whole set list playlist. And afterwards, there was somebody that called me and was like, oh, like, somebody was saying, like, it seemed like you were trying to copy Tony. I'm like, copy Tony? I'm teaching a formula on influence. And we're copying it because we're on fire and in passion and love. Like, I was doing that stuff in 1984, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was doing that in a leadership article you can Google online. Sean Callagy, Columbia baseball captain, bring positive energy and change to the team. Like, I was this from birth, man. It's how my parents raised me. My grandparents raised me, that fire. And the NFL didn't corner the market on cheering. And neither did anybody in the space of music, concerts, personal development, or otherwise. So I am on your podcast for the first time saying, you know what? I bring that fire, that passion, that energy, my own version of it. I bring that forward into everything that I do. So thank you.
Oh. Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, the energy is felt every morning. And I just want to drop into some of that energy really quick on a different note. I was on the phone with a very, very close girlfriend of mine who I share the huddle information with everybody. And she was on the huddle. I didn't know she's been on the huddle, and she finally spoke with me this morning. And we're having a beautiful conversation. And her son has a condition which sometimes is life-threatening. And he's 10. And he had an episode last week. And on Tuesday, she hadn't slept for 2.5 days. And she literally was signed on to the huddle just because she needs some positive inspiration for the day. And Sean, you've been giving that to her. I didn't know this till this morning. And she's like, and there's Sean, like, it's like she was like, he was reading my mind and my heart. He started telling the story about his first child, Tyler. And I remember we were there and talking about where we're going to travel. We can go to, the 10 highest mountains and ski. And I'm sure you remember that story.
Yeah.
And she's like,
we're going to break the world record. We're going to break the world record of skiing on all 7 continents and having him been the youngest person to do it. Yeah, it was that story. And she goes, Tiffany, I promise you, after that huddle, my son, had nurses around him, doctors around him, and he's fighting for his life, like literally fighting for his life. And I walk up to him and I put my hand on him and I go, baby, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And the madness stopped. And he looked up at her and said, Tokyo in Japan. And she goes, all right, when we get out of here, we're planning our trip to Tokyo in Japan. And I kid you not, she said to me, Tiffany, we came home on Thursday, one of the fastest turnarounds. And it's because Sean turned me around and I turned my son around. And Sean, that's just a small token of what you're doing in this world. So it is absolutely amazing to share that story with you. I just got it this morning and I've just been so excited to share it with you. So you're doing wonderful things, and you're dancing and your music and your love and your passion for your children, your business and your relationships is felt people who know you and people who don't even know you yet. So it's truly a tribute to what you're doing. Well, I want to thank you. And, we can't see each other, but we can feel each other and hear each other. And I have tears in my eyes. And I would be honored if it would be any support and would actually love to chat with your friend and her son and just thank them for inspiring me today. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Of course.
So Sean, you do so much for all of us. What about for you? What can anybody do for you? I mean, we sit and we look, and anything you want to do, anything you desire to do, you do. But what if there was anything that we could do for you? What would that be? What would that look like?
You guys have touched my heart and soul deeply today. And the first thing that popped for me, Mike, was I thought of Rocky 2. And I like all sequels, even if people say they aren't good, right? And there's a moment when Adrian's in a coma, Rocky's wife, and he's just waiting. And he's waiting. And he's waiting. And before she went in the coma, she was like, don't fight. You're done. He was, had potential blindness in his eye. Like that was what was going on in the movie. And she woke up and he was like, I'll do anything, and what do you need, And she just looked at him and said, win. And then Mickey goes, "What the hell are we waiting for?" Right? And for me, that's what people can do. And you're winning. You guys are winning. And people taking this information and loving themselves and loving other people and going forward and winning and loving people, that's what this is all about. And realizing that when we win, it doesn't mean other people have to lose. And as we build team and we build ecosystem, we build community, and we have fun. Like, that's it. Win, love, fun. And that is everything that I would need. And as that happens, I mean, we all win. I win. So Mike, thank you for that. And thank you for helping me really think about that. And that is my heart-centered answer for sure.
Wow. Thank you.
No, we're all crying. Wow. Well, thank you so much. Wow, I don't know. You just like shoved me in my heart like you did. I'm speechless. I'm not speechless often.
I can attest to that. So I guess, Sean, thank you, like, from the bottom of our hearts. Every time we get to, interact with you and hear your message and what you're doing, it puts us in our heart. It recenters us, crushing fear and distortion every day. And how do people get a hold of you? That's the big thing. How can we get more people involved in this? Because it's heart-centered human influence. It's about connection. It's about taking the idea of networking to the millionth degree with ecosystem merging. So,
and transformation. Yeah.
So what I would say is to join the huddle, unblindedhuddle.com. And there's an and to realize that what we're doing in the world as well is we're disrupting coaching, we're disrupting networking, we're disrupting how people can generate more money in less time and have more magic in their life and fun, magic, fun, passion, love, right? And what we're doing with the Real Raw is, I am confident it is an extraordinary breakthrough in what I'll call experiential marketing, where people can get paid to market, experiential marketing, where people can get paid to market by creating integrous hierarchical primacy. Like, those are big words. There's a lot of conversation to have around it, but it's Unblinded Huddle. And if you want to grow and build your business, follow the formula and partner with us and build Real Raws. It is in that space. And Tiffany, I had some thoughts about you this morning, and something that I want to offer and challenge you to do is build like your Real Raw, out as first the role player and then as hosting, you guys. And there's no way that doesn't build everything you want to build and help and impact lives by giving massive value. And I have some thoughts on that for offline, but that is the pathway, right? And most people aren't going to do it. Most people want to get a feel, which is okay. Like, I get a feel every time I listen to, a Bruce Springsteen song, and I pick which ones, and I get a beautiful feel. My heart and soul is touched. And if that's all I am for you, I mean, my God, I'm honored to be that for you. Yeah. And we could be a whole lot more. So the Unblinded Huddle and the Real Raw. That would be my answer, Mike.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been magical and wonderful, and just a blessing, true blessing, to have you, one of our mentors, here with us in this space. Our official, third guest, which is amazing. So helping us kick off the energy of United Through Vision. And I have Teresa's contact information. I'll go ahead and put in the post. So if you want to get a hold of Sean, personally, you can reach out to Teresa, and she can help you also accomplish that as well. So again, just thank you so much. And to our viewers, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll make sure to put that contact information in. Final, Sean?
Yeah, final. I think I want to make sure it's clear what I said today. In my life, I've had so many great mentors, coaches, and trainers in my life. And the person that helped me put it all together, the things that my grandparents taught me, the things that my parents taught me, the things that my high school coaches taught me, the things that my uncles taught me and my aunts taught me is Tony Robbins. And he still teaches me to this very minute. And I was privileged to be in his house. So my comment before was nothing to do with Tony. It's to do with the idea of like, oh, like somebody's got like some space like owned and covered, and nobody has any space covered and owned. The NFL hasn't cornered the market on football, right? You haven't cornered the market on law or accounting or speaking or training or coaching or leading. It's for all of us to drive forward, evolve and innovate and make things forever better. And that's what my mentors have done, including Tony Robbins. That brother's out there every day innovating, making things beautiful and great. And that's what we're doing here at Unblinded as well. And Tiffany, Mike, that's what you're doing for people and in your lives. So every day have fun, grow, and live in love and magic. And you know what? Throw a lightning bolt here or there when you need to protect the truth and to guard against fear and distortion. And those lightning bolts and disruptions and that ferocity also is required sometimes. And I love you guys, and I wish you all the best with this.
Awesome. Well, we love you too, and thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let me end this.